Now, we can whimper, we can whine, or we can fight. We'll fight. We'll fight. To fight, fighting hard. Fighting hard. Fight like hell. Fighting hard. Fighting hard. We're gonna fight. 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 Fight. We're gonna fight.
There's the fight, 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 and then there's the fight.
We're gonna fight, we're gonna fight, we're gonna fight, and a fight, we are gonna fight, we're gonna fight, we're gonna fight, and a fight, we are gonna fight, we're gonna fight, we're gonna fight, and a fight. Fighting hard. Fight.
This election was over, and then they did dumps. They call them dumps. Big, massive dumps. In Michigan and Pennsylvania.
Hot.
Big, massive dumps. They say it's statistically impossible. I led the charge. We won state houses, we won Congress, we won the Senate.
Oh, God, here it comes. Hot.
Big, massive dumps. All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have. Because we won the state. You know what they did, and you're not reporting it. That's a number of 11,779. That's a number of 11,779. That's a number of 11,779. That's something I think everyone, at least that's the number that everyone agrees on. But that's the difference in the votes. But we've had hundreds of thousands of ballots that we're able to actually, we'll get you a pretty accurate number. You don't need much of a number because the number that, in theory, I lost by the number of 11,779. That's
Okay, let's. I won't keep subjecting people to that. That's a bit much. I understand. Welcome, everybody. I was planning and hoping to cover the Senate vote on the $1.9 trillion COVID stimulus package, a very large package, but one that's been reshaped to some degree by the Senate. But they are now in the process of reading the entire thing, which could take somewhere up to 10 hours. Let's listen in a little bit to what's going on in the Senate.
Requirements under Section 246.8 of Title VII Code of Federal Regulations as an effect on the date of the enactment of this Act. Section 1107, meals and supplements reimbursements for individuals who have not attained the age of 25. A, program for at-risk school children.
So as you can see, this is just the latest delay tactic from Republicans to slow this down, and inevitably, it's going to pass. It'll be a watered down version that passes, and this is what they're doing. So I did an entire segment which just went live on YouTube 9 minutes ago about how this is being changed. One of the changes that Republicans had no part in negotiating, it was negotiated between Joe Biden and Senate Democrats, is that the eligibility will be stricter. Instead of phasing out to zero at $100,000 a year in income, the checks will phase out to zero at $80,000 a year in income. That money will instead go to hospitals, is the proposal from Jeanne Shaheen. So still 1.9 trillion, but reallocating it. And for me, it's less about, oh, does someone earning 96,000 deserve money? It's less about that. Like, you could argue yes, you could argue no. Even with the new restrictions, it'll still help 86% of households. It's more about, like, what the hell are we doing here? Either way, this isn't going to be supported by Republicans. So why are these negotiations happening? And they're happening because of people like Joe Manchin and Jeanne Shaheen, for whom the House version of this bill was just too loose, too liberal. When I said in November that even with the 2 Senate seats from Georgia, you still have to deal with Joe Manchin, that wasn't like a hypothetical. That was not an imaginary thing. You really have to deal with Joe Manchin and others, and they don't want it. They are to the right of where the average of the Democratic Party is. So that is the negotiation that was done. And that's what it is. Let's listen a little bit more here. This is riveting stuff.
7 U.S.C. 2011 Note Public Law 116-127
Right.
is amended 1 in subsection A, by striking during fiscal years 2020 and 2021 and inserting in any school year in which there is a public health emergency designation, and B, by inserting or in a covered summer period following a school session after in session.
Yeah. So this could go on for 10 hours. This is a complete waste of taxpayer money. It's a waste of Senate time. It's just grandstanding by Republicans, and it's completely pathetic and humiliating for everybody involved, including me. Pepe Xanadu says via Super Chat, would I consider a vegan flan? Would I consider it what? Would I consider eating it, or would I consider it flan? It can't really be flan. The whole point of flan is milk and eggs. So I think that it's an impossibility. You can't possibly have a vegan flan. Alex says, who's the senator speaking? These are not members of the Senate. This is Senate staff that's reading the bill.
Emergencies during summer. The Secretary of Agriculture may permit a state agency to extend a state agency plan approved under subsection B for not more than 90 days for the purpose of operating the plan.
This is crazy. I'm going to try to check out like how some news outlets are covering this. Let me see if I can find like NBC Live. Let's see what NBC Live is saying about this, just to get a sense of what the coverage is looking like. Here we go.
Be called QAnon.
Ben, I honestly can't imagine what it is like to look at these kinds of forums and read all this stuff all day long. We are so thankful that you do it and report.
They're not even
to us.
covering
We
it.
really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Maybe they go to it now.
The Senate working with heightened security at the Capitol today, hopefully voting on COVID relief, but there might be a new delay from the Republicans.
No matter how long it takes, the Senate is going to stay in session to finish the bill this week.
Right.
The American people deserve nothing less.
NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Garrett Hake joining me now. Garrett, first, what is security like there today, and what are you hearing from lawmakers who are actually working on the Hill today? Are they worried about these threats? And quite frankly, are you?
Allison, inside the building, it's not too different from any other day that we've had since about January 7th. Although,
So anyway, they're going to continue reading the bill, and we'll keep an eye on it. There's a bunch of other things that I want to go over with you guys. Mikkel Browning has an interesting idea, which is if one requests the bill to be read, the Senate rules should make the requester be the one to actually read it. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to enforce that. It's a nice idea. I just don't see any way that you could possibly enforce that. Chakaseki says, David, is there a Republican amendment to add the Cat in the Hat and the Sneetches into the relief bill to circumvent cancel culture? I would like that, Doc. That would be a really great thing. I would love to be able to do that. All right, let me get into some things because we do have some time here. I've mentioned to you guys before that I am a participant in a documentary by our good friend James Fletcher called The Accidental President. I now have 4 clips of my participation. Let's just look at them. This is available on Amazon and Apple TV. I interviewed James on the podcast today. And check this out. I've been promising these for a while. Let me get set up to play these for you. Okay, let me make this a little bit smaller. These are some of the clips in which I appear in the film The Accidental President. Let me get this sized right. All right, here we go. Listen to this.
It was the idea that Trump was assigning people names. That conveys a sort of authority.
Right.
Don't worry about it, little Marco. I will. All right, well, let's hear Big Don. Don't worry about it, don't worry about it, little Marco.
Gentlemen. Sometimes the only way to deal with the bully is to knock him on his ass.
He's always calling me Little Marco. And I'll admit, the guy, he's taller than me. He's like 6'2", which is why I don't understand why his hands are the size of someone who's 5'2".
Okay, so there's one clip. Here's another one. James just sent, I said, can you send a couple clips that I'm in? Here's another one.
Entire country.
Oh, God. Hold on. It's going to resize every single time. That's really annoying. Here's Piers Morgan. All right, here's the next clip. Hold on. Oh, dear God, this is going haywire.
Laughing at him. They were mocking him.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
There was just no serious thought given to him as a candidate.
It's obvious that the Republicans think Trump's going to lose.
All right, so there's that clip. Here's one more.
Any minute now. All the news coverage just got sucked up and focused on him because he continued to be the most interesting story. You can't even remember what the other candidates were about.
But the media is not the one that told all of his competitors not to do interviews. They were running an old game and an old playbook. Trump, to his credit, understood that new media world, and he took advantage of it. There's no question about it.
That led to just an unconscionable amount of free media coverage that we could sort of quantify in dollars. It would be a really, really high number.
You know, people say that he got $1 billion in free media in the primary.
So there's that.
Was negative.
What?
A lot of that would have been considered.
Okay, and then lastly, one last clip. These are clips from The Accidental President, a documentary film in which I appear.
You had a few different contingents that were starting to maybe look for a way to coalesce around something to replace President Obama, knowing that he'd be leaving.
I think liberals and conservatives were both looking for someone.
There I am, right alongside Matt Schlapp from CPAC, the American Conservative Union. All right, so that's the film called The Accidental President. It's available a bunch of different places. I watched it on Amazon, and if people are interested, you can find it there. So that is that. Few other super chats. Or just one. Brumal says, can Dem pass marijuana legalization with 51 votes, or do they need to end the filibuster? Irrelevant, because they are not going to even think about legalization. Joe Biden's looking for decriminalization, and that's going to be the path through. That being said, I don't know if I don't know the answer to whether any of it can be done with a simple majority. All right, so there is that. By the way, I have I have not opened it yet. I have down here my gold YouTube 1 million subscriber plaque. It came in yesterday, and a letter from Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube. I was thinking maybe I would open it on the stream today. This is the 100,000 subscriber one. Look at how little it is. The gold 1 million subscriber one is massive. It's a massive package. And I would definitely be willing to open it, but maybe I'll wait. I mean, I think we need to do something when it comes to making some progress on these member numbers. Let's see what we've got. We've got, okay, well, I guess we have one. One person signed up via Twitch. That puts us at 1. And I think we've got nothing happening on the website right now. Yeah, I'll wait. I mean, maybe let's at least get to like 30 or 40 members. Otherwise, I'll just wait and maybe we'll do it next week or, in a few years or something like that. All right. Other things that I have going on here. As many of you know, today is March 4th. Today is the day that many QAnon people said, I don't know if they believed it, but they said that Donald Trump would be reinaugurated as president. It didn't happen. I guess there's a few hours left in the day still. But now they are again shifting the goalposts. This is an article from Newsweek. QAnon theorists, by the way, using the term theorist, it's like the most generous. It's like QAnon academics have switched the date. This is, if you look at the quote research these people are doing, I think the term theorist is maybe a bit much. QAnon theorists switch date to March 20 after no Trump inauguration, call the 4th false flag. As federal law enforcement agencies braced for QAnon conspiracy theorists to engage in potential acts of violence on Thursday, leading affiliates of the far-right extremist movement seem to amend formerly held beliefs about the significance of March 4th. And then it goes on to say, originally, they believed Trump would resume today because the inauguration day before 1933 was March 4th. Then it was switched to January 20th. Okay, so you kind of know the idea. And then it goes on to say they are now describing March 4th as a false flag constructed by mainstream news organizations and internal double agents to deceive the true QAnon proponents. So remember, the January 6th riots were fake Trump supporters, and now the people who were saying March 4th were fake QAnon supporters. Let me see where the March 20th thing is. Where is March 20th? I want to see the explanation for that. There's just so much nonsense here. Here it is. Some QAnon supporters seem to rebrand the March 4 conspiracy in the wake of community suspicion. Two individuals affiliated with the false theories simply suggested that it would take place sometime in spring. One man identified as Ken told the Washington Post reporter Dave Weigel, we love Dave, Dave's a friend of the show, that the former president will be inaugurated again on March 20th. In comments over the military, Ken also believes that Trump is still in command of the military and Biden is acting as president as a ruse while the Pope and others are rounded up. Why are they arresting the Pope, by the way? What is the role? What is the role of the Pope in this entire thing? Do they hate the Pope because he's Argentinian? I don't know, but it's really, really bad. All right. We have sworn off all Troy York voicemails for some time because I sort of made the decision that the ones that were coming in were shallow and pedantic. But I am going to put it to you guys again. I have 2 new Troy York voicemails. I'm not going to lie to you and say these are the best things I've ever seen, but I do want to give people an opportunity to be heard as to whether now, having had a couple weeks off from Troy York, you want to hear from him. Okay. So I'm pasting the link to a straw poll in Twitch, and I'm also going to paste a link to the exact same straw poll in YouTube, and it's going to be up to you guys. Okay. You guys can decide whether I play the new Troy York voicemails. If people are sick of Troy York, then this is the place to vote. Just tell me you're sick of it. And then nothing will happen. Now, is straw poll having some kind of an issue? Because I'm not seeing any votes tallied. Let me refresh this. This is weird. We had this issue last time with straw poll. Why isn't it coming up? That's bizarre. It's not registering people's votes. Okay. Let me do. Oh, whoa, here we go. Whoa. Is that possible? 163 yeses? That doesn't make sense either. Nah, I'm not buying this. Let me do a different one. Okay. We're going to do a different one. Should I play new Troy? Oh, wait a second. I guess it is working. Hold on. It is correct. Okay. All right. Wow, the no's winning for the first time ever. The audience may be completely kiboshing playing of Troy York voicemails. Every time we've put it to a vote before, people have voted yes. Wow, with almost 500 votes, the no's have it. It looks like the audience is saying no to Troy York. If that's the case, I will abide by that. I will abide by it. 464. Let's see when the next dump of votes comes in. 464, just a slight edge for the no's. Seems to be updating on some kind of really strange schedule. I don't know. In the meantime, thanks to Durgees, as well as Vorant and a couple of other people, 3 people who signed up via Twitch, putting us at 4. There it is, another dump of votes, 516, 52 to 48. People are saying no Troy York voicemails. I'll paste the link a couple more times in Twitch, just for people who want to get those last votes in. By the way, people voting by typing yes or no, that doesn't count, okay? That doesn't count. You have to vote in the straw poll. Only straw poll voting counts. I see people typing yes and no. All right, we'll give it another moment or two and see if there's any updates. But right now, the no's having it. I don't believe this is any kind of voter suppression. Everybody's allowed to vote. 516 votes. It just seems like it's updating on a very strange delay. After this, we'll vote on whether this vote is legit, you know. Mikkel says David Pakman straw poll voters are as divided as the country. That's absolutely right. Oh my God, it switched to yes. With the latest dump of votes, we now are at 52 to 48 on the yes. Let's maybe leave it for one more update. Last opportunity for people to vote. And then maybe we will hear about we will hear the Troy York voicemail. 721 votes. This was a no mirage earlier, where the early vote was skewed towards no. Wow, now plus 31 for the yeses. It's starting to potentially get out of reach, and we may have to call it soon. People continuing to ask for the link. Okay, I think I've pasted it about 20 times now. I'll do it one more time in Twitch, one more time in YouTube. 774 votes. The margin is only 24 votes from the standpoint of yes. It's Michigan all over again. Now down to 51-49. The margin is only 24 votes now with 800 so far. I am going to set a timer. I mean, I have to end it at some point. I'm going to set a timer for 1 more minute, and it is starting. We are going to have just 1 more minute to vote, 55 seconds, and then we will end it. Oh, wow. Yes, just taking over. I think it's now mathematically out of reach. 2251 plus 51 on the yes now. 40 seconds to go. Should I play new Troy York voicemails? I am not pasting the link anymore. I've already pasted it too many times. Over 1,000 votes. This is some of the highest turnout that we have ever had. About 16-17% of our entire audience right now has voted, which is huge. 25 seconds to go, and we will end it. I have 2 Troy York voicemails. It is up to you guys. People typing yes in the chat. Your vote doesn't count. You can't call a friend when you want to vote for president. You have to vote, and you actually have to vote in the poll, okay? 7 seconds to go, and I think it is over. 3, 2, 1, 0. The yeses have won, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there it is. It is over. All right, so the yeses did win. Now, I'm not committing to playing the entire voicemails because they are trash. But, okay, let's listen to the first one. New Troy York material.
Yes, David Pakman, you are a conspiracy theorist. There is no QAnon, and basically what you people on the left are trying to do is to silence the opposition voice to the Democrat Party. You have Antifa pretending to be this QAnon fan.
Wow, he's like hitting every nutty claim.
And the January 6th attack was done by the left wing, not Trump supporters. They infiltrated the protests, and now you lunatics on the left are going to keep talking and staging some event for tomorrow. And basically it will be a lie. And if anything does.
But nothing happened. So I guess if Antifa's really if Antifa's really behind QAnon, they didn't do anything. Here's one more. He left this one at 4:49 a.m. this morning. Very, very normal time to be calling a talk show.
And the real conspiracy is people like you pushing QAnon. And the amount of political, divisive, and fearful hate you spread on YouTube, you should really be taken off YouTube because what you do through broadcasts is a disgrace and outrage.
Yeah, all right, I'm done. It is really, I guess it is pretty pedantic. You guys are, I think maybe the vote went the wrong way. I think it really probably should have been a no on Troy York. So anyway, we're going to put another temporary suspension on Troy York. No doubt about it. All right. Thanks very much. So that's that. Thanks to Jimmy Stanley for signing up via Twitch. And also thank you to one other person who signed up, 1717, which puts us at 6. Very much appreciate that. And website memberships are in play. You can sign up at joinpacman.com. Coupon code BETTER21 for a huge discount. All right. Let's get to some super chats. Oh, let's just check in on the Senate reading of the COVID bill. Let's see.
01, a state educational agency shall not, in fiscal year 2022 or 2023, reduce state funding as calculated on a per pupil basis for any highest
They should really get a speed reader. David, huge fan of the show. Do you have a bidet? Would you consider getting one? What are you talking about, dude? Lauren, if I wanted to listen to a Troy, I'd talk to my dad. Not entirely sure what we're voting on, which makes me representative of the average U.S. voter. Yes, voting without knowing what's going on. The no's were winning until massive dumps of illegal votes came in after the polls closed. Stop the steal. Rumor has it these votes are being sent to a remote location in Cambodia. Okay. There we go. So that is that. All right. Very good. Very, very good. Okay. All right. So we've got that. Excellent. Let's look at a couple of different clips. One thing. I'm willing to do this just to see what people think. Yesterday, when I spoke to Stephen Kenneth Destiny Bonnell II, I pointed out that I have no clue what's going on the kind of online left and online right. And a few people wrote to me and said, David, you might find the stuff going on interesting. So just like check out something. And what was recommended by a bunch of people was this recent debate between Bastiat and Vaash. Okay. So I'm just going to listen to a few minutes of it. I don't know what these things are like. I've said before, I don't have time to do 2, 3, 4 hour debates with people, but let's just sort of like see what's going on. And I don't know. Let's just see what it's about. This is a debate. 2-hour debate.
Welcome, Vosh. It seems Bastiat is still muted. Capitalism was already lost. It's over.
What a cringe lord. How you doing, man?
I am doing okay.
I already have no idea what this is, and I'm already sort of like, this is probably not for me.
All things considered.
All right, let's skip ahead already.
Dog, Tiat. And tonight's prize, Eternal
It's like introductions.
This match, due to recent events, it was a little harder to get going than would have thought. And of course, it has costs. If everybody at home...
Still going introduction.
Hearing his explanation for how it would work better than what we've got now. Because fundamentally, my goal is individual freedom and the results that come through a capitalist economy, the improving standard of living that I think has made the world a better place, particularly over the last, say, 40 years. So that's where I stand.
Wonderful. Next, I will be throwing it over to Vosh for a similarly timed intro.
Yeah. So nobody is satisfied with the world as it exists. Everybody wants to make some improvements, and everybody wants to make those improvements in certain ways. Some improvements, if made in ineffectual ways, will beget negative results, and some negative direction.
Where's that feedback coming from? You guys hear that? There's like a duplicate audio.
Oh, hold on. I hear an echo.
Oh, he hears it too.
I'll mute my mic.
Okay, gotcha. And some directions one can pursue, even if well-intentioned, lead to negative outcomes. In my personal opinion, I believe that which I advocate for principally, that is to say selective decommodification and for market socialism, worker cooperatives, are
like, why don't I care about this? Can someone explain to me? And we've had Vosh on the show, and he's a perfectly nice guy. We had a great conversation. We had a 25-minute conversation that was sort of narrowly focused. Like, why does this do nothing for me? Because no one's saying anything? Lack of professionalism, because it's not real, it's all rambling, because I'm a pragmatist. I don't care about it because it's not practical. Or I don't know, guys. I struggle with this stuff. Like, I get invited to stuff all the time, and they're like, it'll be a 3-hour conversation. It's just like, no, I'd rather just read. Let's listen to a little more. Let's just skip ahead and see what's going on.
1 hour left. So, but if you
What we've gotten to the we have only 1 hour left point. Oh my God. Okay, let's continue.
Many times on stream and in videos and everywhere, is that I think that these systems should be improved, not to perfection, should there ever be such a thing, but as much as we're capable of improving it. And I think that since you seem to agree that you don't like power imbalances in trade relations, that you and I would have a similar goal in promoting economic autonomy for the developing world.
It depends, I suppose, on what you mean by autonomy for the developing world. If you mean like autarky, if that's what you mean by independence, then no, I think that seems to be where it's been tried,
Why
usually
would I
destructive.
mean autarky? Why would
When
that...
you say, because you use a word like independence.
Independence, like they're not entirely dependent on sweatshops that are owned by foreign companies to survive. Independence like the United States, where we have a lot of power to engage in trade relationships on our own terms because we're...
I think, one of the things about this that I think is problematic is like, for me, it's not an attention span thing. Like, I can sit and read complex theory for an hour and sort of go through it and synthesize it and go back when I need to and that type of thing. I feel like I get so much more out of that than something like this, where it's 2 hours and it's sort of like, in a sense, it's an arbitrarily set time period, but at the same time, there's like kind of odd amounts of time, and by odd I mean sort of like arbitrary amounts of time devoted to each piece, and it's never really clear, like, has a point now been made? Have we it seems like it's just kind of like content for the sake of content. Like, let's do a 2-hour video, and I don't know. Yeah, people say, how is this less vapid than what you do? I'm not saying it is or isn't. What I'm saying is, I think that I believe that people mostly are going to learn by sort of like self-directed consumption of history and philosophy and economic theory and sort of that sort of thing. I don't think people are going to learn much from watching me in a 3-hour debate, which is why I just don't do them. People are saying a lot of people build their opinions by watching stuff like this. Interesting. Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I'm sure all these people are really nice. I know Vosh. That's the only person I know. And we had a great conversation on our show. I don't know. I just don't know it's just not for me, I guess is what I'm saying. It's not for me. Okay, if other people learn, that's fantastic. I think that's great. Who am I to say? I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying for me, it's not the type of thing I like to watch, and it's not something I look to participate in. Okay, I want to say thanks to John Benson. John just signed up at joinpacman.com and is new member number 7 today. I also want to say thanks to the 4 people who just grabbed Twitch Prime subs, putting us at 11 for the day. Appreciate it, guys. Let's check in briefly on the Senate reading of the COVID relief bill.
10, Institute for Educational Sciences. In addition to amounts otherwise available, there is appropriated to the Department of Education for fiscal year 2021 out of any money in the Treasury not otherwise appropriated, $100 million to remain.
So they're still going. Let's look at some of the comments from folks. Wade Flores says, David, for most of these long-form debate conversations, the best thing you can do is play it in the background and play a video game. This is typically how I listen to Destiny. That's interesting. I'll usually find like philosophy lectures when I'm doing that. That's more appealing to me. Oliver says, your show has a natural flow, a guided path to a logical end. Vosh debate seems a haphazard circular argument with no clear lesson. Daratan says discussions about political theory by people with no skin in the game ultimately is pointless. They aren't producing a change or creating material. Huh. U.S. Congress has the most brain-dead group of idiots running the asylum. If they had any clue, they would finally learn their ABCs. Talk your ish, Dave. Keep doing what you're doing, my friend. I blast off daily with a bidet. Highly recommend. David, do you support the recognition of Native American mixed bloods in the U.S.? Don't know enough about that. Eugene, I'm curious about the bidet. Circle back to that. I'm from Argentina, a country where bidets are standard. Totally standard bidets in Argentina. Complete normal, just standard. Big thank you to Evelyn Harris. Evelyn, thank you. You're a great American, to quote Sean Hannity, even though I don't even know if you're American. But Evelyn, I really appreciate you signing up on my website, joinpacman.com. All right, let's get to a few other things here. Okay, wait. So I did that. We did a little bit of the debate thing. Oh, okay. The cancel culture stuff, it's nuts what's going on. This is Jim Jordan. By the way, I find it really strange that Jim Jordan will often stand in his own office when he's being interviewed. Like, you could sit down, dude. Anyway, this is the latest explosive claim about so-called cancel culture.
I think you're right. I think Americans are just fed up with this all. I mean, first it was Kermit the Frog and the Muppets, Mr. Potato Head, then now, Dr. Seuss. But don't forget, they also came after you guys. They come after Fox News, One American News, and Newsmax, too. So this is frightening where the left wants to go. I have said, I think this is the biggest threat to freedom we face because...
Dr. Seuss Enterprises saying we won't continue publishing 6 books at our discretion is the biggest threat to freedom. I would argue that the world faces, not even just Americans.
Do you have a functioning First Amendment?
And of course, the First Amendment has nothing to do with the decision by Dr. Seuss. Just couldn't have less to do with it.
Sides allowed to talk. Do you have free speech when only the left can determine what gets said?
And of course, that's also they will not stop with this cancel culture stuff. It's on and on and on and on. People asking about, excuse me, the coupon code. The coupon code's right there. It's Better21. All right, so there's Jim Jordan. And then this is also funny. Joe Biden used the term Neanderthal yesterday. And he said that, governors like the governor of Texas who are just canceling all COVID relief. I'm sorry, not canceling COVID relief, canceling COVID guidelines, that it's Neanderthal thinking. And someone wrote to me and said, David, they're saying that it's not appropriate to use the term Neanderthal. And I said, that can't possibly be. There's no way. Listen to what Senator Marsha Blackburn said. Listen to this is crazy. This is speciesist.
Is Tennessee guilty of Neanderthal thinking, Senator?
Well, Stuart, we were called Neanderthals when I led the fight against imposition of a state income tax in Tennessee. So you know what I did? I started the Neanderthal Caucus because Neanderthals are hunter-gatherers. They're protectors of their family.
By the way, what's that beeping in the background? Is that a phone? What is that?
They are resilient. They're resourceful. They tend to their own. So I think Joe Biden needs to rethink what he is saying about the states that are choosing to move away from these mask mandates. In Tennessee, we have a lot of people that are moving away from mask mandates, and our counties. And
a lot of people who are just refusing to wear masks.
You know what? Our budget is in good shape. Our kids are back in school. People are going back to work. Those that have been adversely impacted by COVID that still need targeted, timely relief, you've got communities coming around these individuals.
So a principled and defiant defense of Neanderthals, and I actually believe we need to go to bat for Homo erectus. I think that if we allow the history of Homo erectus to be erased, I believe we will never, ever forgive ourselves. Never, ever. Oh, and okay, yeah, and people are mentioning the, let me pull that up. That's good. There's these clips. Actually, Aaron is the one who posted them. Abbott and Patrick in Texas, of course, they just opened the state wide open, and they're already blaming immigrants for COVID. It's wacky. Let me find these clips. Here's Dan Patrick. This is the lieutenant governor of Texas. Listen to him.
And as Governor Abbott mentioned, I would call Neanderthal thinking of allowing people to cross the border illegally with COVID, tested positive, and put them on a bus. And as Governor Abbott mentioned, I would call Neanderthal thinking.
Okay, so there's that. And then here is, here's the governor of Texas last night.
The Biden administration was releasing illegal immigrants into our communities who had COVID. The Biden administration was spreading COVID in South Texas yesterday because of their lack of constraint of testing and quarantining.
Lack of constraint of testing. And let me see if I, hold on a second. I'm trying to understand that. Lack of constraint of testing. That's weird. I don't even know what that means.
People who'd come across the border illegally. The Biden administration was exposing Texans to COVID. That is Neanderthal-type approach to dealing with the COVID situation.
Ooh, what about Australopithecus? It's crazy. And, you know, they bragged all throughout Trump's presidency. Border crossings are like at nil because of the wall, which they didn't even build, and all of this stuff. And now all of a sudden Biden's been president 5 weeks, and COVID in Texas is because of undocumented immigrants. And then, of course, the other funny thing about it is the active case rate in Mexico is significantly lower than in the United States. I even have the data here. Let me see. If you look at United States, so USA cases per capita, 88,000. And then Mexico cases per capita, 16,000. It's 1/6. The people coming from Mexico, if they are coming, which supposedly they weren't because of the great job Trump did with the wall he didn't build. If they are coming, they are only 1/6 as likely to have COVID as a general statistic. You could say, well, no, the people coming over are more likely to have it than the ones staying in Mexico City or whatever. It's wild. Absolutely wild, wild, wild. So that's Greg Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick blaming Mexicans for COVID in Texas. Thanks to Gordon Hall for signing up on my website, joinpacman.com. Gordon, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for signing up. Gordon, taking advantage of the coupon code BETTER21. What a perfect sign up. Absolutely perfect. And also thanks to the 3 people who just grabbed memberships on Twitch. That's Jem, Austin Smith, and Sumi Long gifted a subscription. As a reminder, oh yeah, because a lot of people don't know. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can sign up via Twitch Prime for free. They're called Bezos Bucks. You're taking $5 from Bezos and sending it to us. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, other super chats. Have I heard Trump's Georgia call turned into a song by Shomo Yoho? I haven't. I'll check it out, though. Buffalo Five Knives says, I think structured debate can be boring because the structure rarely lends itself to meaningful back and forth. Better to hear experts salon through issues, even with no ultimate conclusions. Interesting. As someone who's genetically 4% Neanderthal, I'm deeply offended by Biden's diss of my heritage. That's an outrage. Yeah, you know what? Let me see if I can pull up my 23andMe. I am highly Neanderthal. That will come as a shock, I think, to many in the audience. Let me see if I can find it. Don't even remember my login info. Let me see here. I don't even know my password to this nonsense. Is 23andMe the one that measures your Neanderthal DNA? I think I'm getting in. Yeah, I'm 100% Ashkenazi Jewish, but from the standpoint of Neanderthal, I tested quite high. Let's see. I would like to pull this up. I think I got my password right, but it's just kind of hanging. We'll come back to it. I'll just let it try to log in. Canceling Senator Hawley's book, Now Dr. Seuss, what a blow for the genre of vapid fiction and imaginary problems. Yeah. Very much so. I'll get to some other super chats momentarily. Oh, nobody's able to log into 23andMe. Okay, something must be going on. Let's listen to a little more. We are getting closer to a vote on COVID.
Sector during and after the COVID-19 public health emergency. B, qualified childcare provider. To be qualified to receive a subgrant under this paragraph, a provider shall be an eligible childcare provider that on the date of the submission of an application for the subgrant was either 1, open and available to provide childcare services, or 2, closed due to public health, financial hardships, or other reasons relating to the COVID-19 public health emergency. C, subgrant amount. The amount of such a subgrant to a qualified childcare provider shall be based on the provider's...
Yeah, I think all the senators are gone. Some people are saying check my ancestry DNA. Oh, I'm in. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, the website is so toxically slow right now. I can't even believe how slow this is. DNA relatives, traits, ancestry composition, ancestry and traits overview. Yeah, let's see. Oh, no, not again. The same guy's going to have to be banned again, it looks like, on Twitch. Yep. That's too bad. All right. All right, I'll let it keep loading. 23andMe is just so slow that I'm not even able to handle it. Okay. Well, it is what it is. We'll see if we can get back to it. All right, very good. Okay, so we took care of all of that. Oh, thanks to RX Queen, Matt SB, Lola Supernova, Doughboy, Justin Andrew Watson, the Gemini, Shut Up Megs, Gem H, Austin Smith today. A whole bunch of people, 11 people, in fact, grabbing Twitch subs, which I very much appreciate. And all right, yeah, let's just do the let's do the YouTube plaque unveil. All right. So as many of you know, we recently hit 1 million YouTube subscribers. Now, in fact, we're already at 1.3 million YouTube subscribers. That's okay. But I have here, this is our old 100,000 YouTube subscriber silver button. Okay? I have here a huge package. Look at this thing from YouTube. This is I've not opened this yet. This is the gold button. We're going to do this right now, and I have an idea for some memes. Let's first take a look at it. I have a beautiful letter from YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki. I don't know why. I don't even believe it's pronounced that way, but that's the way people tell me it's pronounced. Okay. David, if you took one step for each subscriber you have, do you know how far that would get you? For starters, over 13 times around the perimeter of Beijing, or 14 times around Paris. Oh, people are saying go full screen. Okay, I will. Or 15 times around New York. That's because you now have over 1 million subscribers. But your influence stretches beyond that of a single city. Through your incredible I'm sure this is like a custom letter just for me. Through your incredible creativity and dedication, you have built a dynamic community that stretches across continents and binds people together from all corners of the globe. They come together to be inspired by your unique voice and vision. YouTube started with the idea of a platform where anyone can broadcast oneself. And you've done exactly that. No dreams are too big and no details too small when it comes to the care that you put into engaging your community. That's right. That's why we just banned 20 people on YouTube. To honor your remarkable achievement, we are proud to present you with the Gold Creator Award. We hope that it will inspire you and remind you how much you mean to so many. We know that this milestone only begins to tell your story. That's right. We also have voicemails. You are also part of a groundbreaking group of creators who are building the next generation of new media companies. Every day you are reinventing how stories are created and shared, and we can't wait for the next chapter of your story. Yours sincerely, Susan Wojcicki, CEO, YouTube. All right? So there is the letter from Susan. Let's now get to the actual thing. Here we go. All right. There it is. Wow, look at that. And I'm going to remove this stuff. Hold on a second. What's going on here? Oh, wait a second. Oh, hold on. This isn't even part of it. Let's open this up. There it is, folks. Look at that. That is massive. Massive, massive package. Look at that thing. Isn't that something? Now, what I'm going to do is I think that something that would be great for this from the standpoint of memes would be, you know how Trump used to sign an executive order and kind of move this back and forth? I'm going to do that, and maybe people can then superimpose funny stuff onto this. I'll just move the mic and do it. Then it can be GIFed and GIFed and turned into stuff. All right, here we go. I hope that's enough, and then now it can be turned into stuff. This is nice, I have to tell you. I mean, this is the 100,000 one. This is the million. It's not even close. Not even close. All right. So that's that. It is metal. Yeah, people ask, this is all... Oh, wait, is that metal? No, it's not solid metal. I guess it's metal plated or something like that. All right, very good. So we've gotten that out of the way. Okay. Patricker says you're now legally obligated to put it in your background like the other YouTubers. Yeah, I don't really have a place to do it. I mean, I guess it could conceivably go. Would this be on screen, like right here? I could have the edge of it just right here, maybe. Or even down like on this block. Oh, that's not a bad idea, actually. I wonder if I could put it... That's not a bad idea, actually. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, good. So we did it. We did it. English, Wachitsky. Polish, Wojcicki. All right. Congrats on the shiny from YouTube. Okay. Very good. Very good. We did it. Soon I'll be doing makeup tutorials. Yeah. All right. Let's listen to what's happening in the Senate.
Administrative costs for which funds are appropriate under subsection Treasury, not otherwise appropriated, $2,500,000 for the fiscal year 2021 to remain available until expended for the federal administrative costs of carrying out subsections C and D. Section 2205, Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment. In addition to amounts otherwise available, there is appropriated to the Secretary of Health and Human Services for fiscal year 2021 out of any money in the Treasury not otherwise appropriate, the following amounts to remain available through September 30th, 2023.
Dear
One,
God.
$250 million for carrying out the program authorized under Section 201 of the Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act, 42 U.S.C. 5116, while shall be allocated without regard to Section 204.4 of such act, 42 U.S.C. 5116D4, and shall be allotted to...
Yeah, so they're still going there. I do have my Neanderthal DNA stuff pulled up. Let's see if we can take a look at it now. Here we go. Let's see here. Okay, David, you have more Neanderthal DNA than 42% of other customers. Oh, that's not that much. That means I have less Neanderthal DNA than 58%. So that's actually not that much. Altogether, your Neanderthal ancestry accounts for less than 2% of your DNA, under 2% Neanderthal DNA. This report highlights associations between your Neanderthal variants and your traits, but it doesn't explore how other factors may be involved. Okay, I have one variant associated with having a worse sense of direction. That's interesting. You have one variant associated with being a better sprinter than distance runner. I think that that's probably true. You have one variant associated with having more dandruff. Oh, that's not true. More. This is all relative. That's interesting. You have zero variants associated with having difficulty discarding rarely used possessions. That's true. I love getting rid of stuff. You have zero variants associated with more itchy mosquito bites. That's weird. You have zero variants associated with generally not feeling angry when hungry. Zero variants with not feeling angry when hungry. That's weird. You have zero variants associated with being less likely to have a fear of heights. You have zero variants associated with being more likely to have an apple body shape than a pear body shape. All right, this is starting to get edgy, so we're going to cut it. But interesting. Interesting nonetheless. Okay. So we've gotten that out of the way. Big thank you to Jorn Adolf. Jorn Adolf has just signed up on my website. Also thanks to Colazin Bertola, who just signed up on my website. New members 28 and 29 today. Also big thank you to Spooky Rummage and a few other people who grabbed Twitch subs. 6, in fact, putting us at 35. Chakaseki wants to know if there's any correlation between Neanderthal DNA and beta male characteristics. I assume so. Yeah, for sure. AMLO pulls through insisting for COVAX during Texas gas crisis. Mexico was impacted, but managed way better despite fear-mongering for strengthening their national grid, media trying to smear Mexico. I'm going to have to look into that. Previous chat. Pepe Xanadu wants me to look at the previous chat. Where is Pepe's previous? Whoa. Pepe. Previous chat. Yeah, would you consider a vegan flan? That's the only previous chat I see from you, Pepe. Oh, no, there it is. School to reopen soon in Cali for 9-year-old. 4-year-old special needs with heart condition. If he contracts COVID, he dies. Why is Biden rushing to reopen? Biden doesn't seem to be rushing. He wants to have schools at least partially open by 100 days into his presidency. That doesn't seem rushed. What Texas is doing certainly seems rushed. My favorite drum or cymbal brands. I for a while was a big Sabian guy, but I do like the super dry Zildjian, particularly the ultra dry Zildjian Ride is a beautiful, beautiful cymbal. Absolutely fantastic cymbal. Okay, did I miss anything else here? Abrasive says, I'm proud of your massive package, David. Maddie says, when you read the congrats letter, it reminded me when Dwight read Michael's recommendation from GM on The Office. My fellow Office watchers are with me. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to say much about that. Thoughts, reflections on your start to now? Who knows? I'd have to think about that. YouTube on the wall. Who's the most golden of them all? Keep up the hard work, David Pakman. # Golden Pakman. Thank you. I very much appreciate that. All right, let's get back to seeing what's going on in the Senate here.
To plan, prepare for, promote, distribute, administer, and monitor and track COVID-19 vaccines. 79B, use of funds. The Secretary, acting through the Director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and in consultation with other agencies, as applicable, shall, in conducting activities referred to in subsection A, 1, conduct activities to enhance, expand, and improve nationwide COVID.
Really, really powerful stuff going on there. Will I open the phone lines? Yeah, I mean, this is going to take forever, so I would be open to opening the phone lines. But I'm going to have to hold steady on our 100 members. Now, we do have, I wanted to do this last time, but I was not able to pull it up. The all-time top sub-gifters on Twitch. These are some crooked numbers. A user who goes by the name I'm Inconsolable has gifted 524 subs via Twitch and is the top sub-gifter of all time. Second most is David Chadman, who has gifted 323 Twitch subs. And then Spudnik19 is in third place with 258 gifted subs. Also, do want to give some honorable mentions to people who have been gifting lately, including KY Dizzle, Astro Lycos, and Boy Meets Minnie. Those are the absolute top gifters of all time on our super chat, on our Twitch chat and Twitch stream. And then that's basically it. Some of these other people I haven't seen for a long time. Oh, ODWDINC. I don't know how that's pronounced. They're in fourth place. They've been around recently. Boy Meets Minnie has gifted 72, but I don't remember seeing Boy Meets Minnie for a while. Yeah, David Chadman in second place. Daniel R says previous chat skipped. Oh boy. Daniel R. Let's see. David, let's turn on the nightly news. I've received the... Oh, darling, let's turn on the nightly news. I've received the award for 100,000 followers. A hopeful yet soon to be disappointed David to his girlfriend. Right. Absolutely. Seinfeld is better than The Office and Frasier combined. Obviously. No question about it. 21-inch Zildjian Sweet Ride. Perfect ride crash hybrid. Wow. Okay. But in all seriousness, I am glad to open phone lines, but we would have to get some combination of 100 website members and Twitch subs. In the meantime, though, let me play some of what we call, quote, good voicemails. Okay? Good voicemails that people often ask for. Let's see what we've got here. Let's listen to this one.
Hello, David. I got a conspiracy theory for you. I do believe that Q can be nobody else but Russian propaganda, the GRU, because the allegations are just so crazy. It can't be anybody else. They're the only ones that stand to gain from this shit.
Okay. So there's one voicemail. Let's see what else we've got. I'll give you guys a little insight into like the multiple callers who call multiple times in a row. I'll just pick a random one. And this is somebody who called 7 times in a row. Let's see what they're up to.
Hi, David. I've been calling you a bunch. You actually played me once. I've been working through this pandemic as much as anyone, right? You know what I mean? Like, I saved some money. I'm a low income. I'm on disability. But I saved some money, and I ended up losing my job at the end of May. And then I ended up relapsing.
Okay. That's sad. That's sad. Then they called back.
My point is, Mr. David Pacman, Mr. David from Argentina. I saw toe. That's why I called you for, because I will defend your honor.
All right. So anyway, that's someone, they called 7 times, so I'm not going to play all 7 for you. Here's another. This is a triple caller. This person called 3 times in a row.
The stand your ground law that Jeb Bush passed. You're going to get a confrontation down here in Florida or Georgia or Texas, and it's going to come down to that. Someone pulling a gun on someone else. Just a thought. All right.
All right. Then they called back.
Clarence Thomas's wife and her participation in busing people to this demonstration, which turned into a riot. These are the people who have to be grabbed immediately. I hope you comment on that tonight.
All right. And then they called back a 3rd time.
That meeting at the Trump Hotel, I wonder if Eric Prince was there or Elliot Abrams. These are the kind of these are the kind of things they did in Central America. These are the kind of things that happen in Hungary. You had Sebastian Gorka bragging all the time in this Matt Schlapp. I'd have him investigated. Every inch of that guy is dirty. That guy is dirty.
All right. Let's see who else we've got. Again, this is like every morning, we have about 100 of these, and I have to go through them and find something that's relevant for the show. All right, here's one on cancel culture.
Hey, Dave. So I'm watching your show right now, and you're talking about cancel culture, and you're talking about how the right, Republicans.
By the way, notice that my show is playing in the background of every single one of these voicemails. These are all different people. People think that I exaggerate. It's so common that people don't pause the show to call in.
Run out of ideas, so
it's like people are noticing it in the chat. I'm not even mentioning it because it's so common. The last guy had the same thing.
Ideas, this cancel culture, and it's basically doesn't exist, but they're pretending to whatever reason make it exist. I'm not familiar.
This isn't the same guy. The other guy had a Boston accent. I know it's similar, but it's not the same guy.
I'm not sure how familiar you are with manipulation. I'm sure you are. But the number one manipulation is to make the other person think that they're doing actually what you're doing. But
I'm struggling to follow that. All right, let's look at a couple of others. This one came in during the stream. It's about Neanderthals. Let's listen.
Hey, I just wanted to say something about the word Neanderthal. Everyone using it, especially the Republicans, is pronouncing it wrong. You're not supposed to hit the TH with a light Z. It's supposed to be a hard T. So
Neanderthal. Yeah.
instead of Neanderthal, it's Neanderthal.
Right. So that's a clarification. I think it's an important one. Let's see what this is.
So, David, I have a question about the basic fundamentals of yours and Kyle Kulinski's channel. It seems that Kyle can't hit 1 million subs, and you easily blew past that.
Well, let me check. Hold on. Yeah, it does say that. That is true. It does say that. It does say 1 million. That's true. All right, let's continue.
What is he doing wrong with his channel
I have no idea. I don't watch any shows like mine.
to actually not gain actual subs and viewership to his channel? Because you're sitting at 1.3 million subs. You've gained 300K, blown past 1 million, and Kyle's gained literally probably about 30,000. What is the difference between your channel and Kyle's channel, other than the sheer quality that I can see? But
oh my God, this is aggressive. I don't know, guys. I don't know what other people are doing. I'm not gonna, I have no interest in criticizing Kyle. I have no idea what he's doing on his channel. I don't even know how many subs he has.
To me, it seems more that like Kyle is just kind of given up a little bit. I mean,
what?
I can't get all of it out on the phone right now, but like I just feel like he's just become more.
That's a very negative message. I don't love that. I don't like that voicemail. Let's see what else. Here's a Glenn Greenwald one.
Hey, David. I just wanted to ask you, what in the hell? I almost censored myself, but whatever. What in the hell is going on with Glenn Greenwald?
Yeah.
This guy just recently said that he believes Tucker Carlson to be a socialist.
Is that true? Did Glenn say that? I'm trying not to talk about Glenn Greenwald, but because I think something's going on emotionally with Glenn, and he's lashed out at me a few times on Twitter or Twitter. I'm kind of staying away. I just think something's going on with him. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like I'm criticizing it. I don't know. Let's listen though.
You mean to tell me that a once progressive with a huge platform, a respected platform, at least at one point, is going to fall for the faux populism, the Trojan horse right-wing populism of a paleo con?
Listen, a lot of people have fallen for that with Tucker. That's not unique. Oh, and the voicemail just glitched. Okay, so anyway, that one's about Tucker Carlson and Glenn Greenwald. I'm just giving people a sense of like what comes in. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's take a listen to this.
Hello, Dave, a long-time listener. I'm very impressed with your show, but I think they ought to suggest more when the Capitol was sacked that the nuclear football was
This is the guy from King of the Hill, right?
also at risk. Mike Pence is in trouble, the Senate was in trouble, but the nuclear football is at risk, and no one seems to acknowledge that fact. Have a great day.
All right, so a very polite message, although it's not totally clear what it's about. I think I had a voicemail from the Eggman also, who we love hearing from. Where was that Eggman voicemail? Hold on a second. It was Eggmania on the phone lines. Eggman. Where on earth did that Eggman voicemail go? Oh, here it is. Here's the Eggman.
Dave, I'm eating in my car. I'm on my new diet of bananas, oatmeal, pineapple, and baked potatoes. And the car in front of me is at a full stop at a red light. And I think it's driver suppression. My new diet's awesome. I love that guy's New York accent. That was the best part of that call. Shalom, brother.
That's an inside joke relating to a voicemail from earlier in the week. Now, that accent, did you guys notice how Eggman says bananas? I say bananas. He says bananas. Is that a New York thing? Nobody knows. Good. Love it when people have no idea. All right. Here's a voicemail about Andrew Cuomo. This is a caller, Dave from California, who calls very frequently.
Hey, Dave from California. This thing with Governor Cuomo and sexual harassment. I worked for a big company in 1980.
Uh-oh.
They constantly told me, hands off. In other words, a friendly handshake, some company business, and even if they were your good friend, don't talk about personal affairs inside the company grounds. If you want to go have a drink, do that outside the company. Just don't do it in the company.
Okay. All right. There's Dave from California. Ellis says via Super Chat, David, I wish you looked at Twitch comments more. I look at them all the time. More importantly, who's your favorite early to mid 90s rapper? I don't know who's early to mid 90s. People, oh, that's interesting. Some people are saying every single one of these voicemails are better than Troy York. That's interesting. See, okay, so if Tupac was counts as early to mid 90s, then I would say Tupac. Yeah. Let's see what else we've got here. Someone on the culture war.
Yes, hello, David. This is Yabbits from Marietta, Georgia. Just wanted to respond
Oh, I think Yabbits is a super chatter.
to your question on whether or not some of these culture war things you should still continue to go into. And I would like to persuade you that, yes, I think so. You read some emails from an anti-vaxxer that sort of led to a dead end, which is very typical
Yes, that's exactly, I like that description of it. It did lead to a complete and total dead end.
the sort of mentalities that are launching and continuing these culture wars. I mean, you come right down to the contradictions, like the CPAC conference, where they were asked to wear masks because this private property has got rules, and these conservatives normally are all for business owners enforcing rules.
Beautiful point.
Deciding who they want to serve.
Perfect.
And as you pointed out, the same thing goes with the Hasbro company and Mr. Potato Head and the Seuss Foundation, which decided on its own to make a decision to say, we're just not going to do these books.
Yep.
These contradictions are going to make their way to a tiny percentage of these people, not your anti-vaxxer emailer, but one at a time, somebody's going to realize this is messed up. And I think that anything that can be done, it doesn't require a lot amount of time, but every single time we point out the contradictions, a tiny percentage are going to be won over. And those people, in turn, will become more effective at winning over all the others in their circle.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think that's actually an interesting take. And that's basically everything. That's all I've got. Yeah. So that's every voicemail, but we've cleared it all out. I think anyway. Sometimes people will text the Google voicemail line. It's like, we're not looking at texts. Nobody's looking at that. So that's it. That's completely and totally cleared. All right. Very, very good. Hope people like that. It really, you know, people wonder how do the voicemails that get on end up being the ones that are chosen. It's because this is what I'm picking from. And we love all the callers, but not everything lends itself to a 60-minute show. Thank you to Igor Morais, who just signed up at joinpacman.com. Igor, I love it and I appreciate it. Cockeyed Rooster says, David, I think the Republicans have been completely consumed by the libertarian fascist wings of the party. Now you see the prevalence of conspiracy thinking that have always dominated these two groups. No doubt. One of the things I've been pointing out for a while is a lot of libertarians are just conspiracy theorists. They're not really libertarians. Some are, of course. But oftentimes libertarian is how a right-wing nut that doesn't really want to be part of the Republican Party will distance themselves. It's like, no. What separates you from Republicans isn't that you're a libertarian economically. It's that you're absolutely off the wall conspiracy theorist. What Myers-Briggs personality type are you? I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. Could it be ENTJ? Is that possible? Is that a thing? The Commander. ENTJ. It's been so long since I took that stuff. Commanders you may know: Steve Jobs, Gordon Ramsay, Margaret Thatcher, FDR, Jim Carrey. Uh-oh, he's kooky. Whoopi Goldberg, that's cool. Harrison Ford. Francis Underwood from House of Cards. Holy shit. I thought I was ENTJ. That's what I remember. I don't remember what each of them stand for. Okay, let me do one other thing. I've had requests from people to go over one of the old wacky interviews that I did and kind of see what my thoughts are on it now. I don't know which one it should be. Once we did this with the Richard Spencer interview, I could do it with an old Westboro Baptist Church interview. Maybe that's an interesting idea. Steve Cancel says, I missed his super chat. Okay, sorry, Steve. Why did Ron Johnson make him read the whole bill? Just a silly delay tactic? Yeah. It's just a delay tactic. That's it. That's all it is. Maybe I'll do, let's see, David Pacman, Westboro. Let's just find an old Westboro Baptist Church interview and see what's up with it. Which one should I do? Maybe the one where the lady called me a titmouse. Let's check that one out. This is something I haven't looked at in a long time. Let's review.
Interview, we're really going back to a true classic.
Hold on, here we go.
This was when one of the daughters of...
Here we go.
Joining me is Margie Phelps from the Westboro Baptist Church. Immediately after the shooting at Sandy Hook School, the Westboro Baptist Church announced that it would be picketing the vigil, as well as, I believe, some...
Look at how much better our audio quality is now.
...of the funerals. Margie, let's cut right to the chase. What's the reason? Do you still plan to picket funerals, and what's the reason for that?
Every time God reaches down into this nation and smacks you hard and gets your attention, we're going to come forth with work. That's our job. That's our mission. So one of the ways he's doing that, increasingly, is by these shooters. They're getting younger and their numbers are getting bigger. We've told you for over 20 years that if you keep up this path of proud sin, you're going to bring mayhem to the land. And now you've waxed worse, and now you're
the reaction shot
chase for same-sex marriage. Connecticut was one of the first states to come out with same-sex marriage. You guys think you can brute force away the standard of God. It's not going to happen. You heard it here first.
Okay, but Margie, what's the plan with the funerals specifically?
Right, she's filibustering me.
Soon, Connecticut is going to look like a tea party. Many more shooters, many more dead are coming. And the plan with Connecticut, are you kidding me? There's already been thousands of our words put out in the airwaves. We'll continue on the course we're on.
How did I have the patience for these people back then?
Okay, but are you going to picket the funerals of the kids?
Wherever we can put these signs up, including those funerals, is what we'll do.
Okay, and specifically, I mean, I understand that you believe broadly that anything bad that happens in this country is God's punishment for what you consider to be the acceptance of homosexuality. But I mean, these kids, and we have a lot of their pictures here, I mean, what did little Jack Pinto do to deserve Jonathan?
It's a good question.
Phelps there with a God sent the shooter sign, right? Or I mean, any of these, right? You know, Olivia Engel, what did she do? What's the point of being there?
Truth is, and name them all, those children are better off dead than in this nation this hour. Every child of that age in this nation outside of Westboro Baptist Church is without hope. They are on their mother's milk, taught to be proud sinners and rebels.
These people are out of their minds, yeah.
Against the God of glory. There's no hope for those children.
No, that's nonsense.
Worse, they died. Look at your hands. David Pakman. Their blood is on your hands. And all the rest of the media and all the rest of the preachers and all the rest of the leaders, their blood is on your hands. If you ever cracked a Bible, you would be familiar with the fact that when you enrage the King of Glory, the Lord God Jehovah, he comes
There's nothing more pro-life than this, yeah.
on the scene with destruction, and he's no respecter of age. He kills infants in his wrath. Furthermore, no one is born innocent. So get off all that nonsense. It's maudlin. It's unscriptural.
Yeah, Margie.
It's unhelpful at this hour. If you don't want more of those dead children, stop what you're doing.
Margie, there's been a...
If you gave a rat's backside, you or anyone else in this nation, if you really cared, Barack Obama...
We're going to have to agree to disagree on this.
Mourn for your sins.
Yeah.
You would change course before you have thousands of dead laying at your feet.
Margie, I want to... Let's...
Unless if you agree to disagree.
No, I know the Bible stuff, but let's just try to keep it concise a little, because there are more things. Incredibly, we actually have a lot of things to talk about with you.
That's actually kind of funny. It's hard to believe I'd have a big agenda with this woman, but I actually do. That's pretty damn funny. This is like watching I have no memory of this. I remember doing it. I'm actually cracking myself up here.
Talk to a lot of people. There have been about 200 articles.
But just to be clear, the only thing you and I are talking about today is Connecticut and same-sex marriage. Don't waste my time. You don't have a big enough audience for me to waste my time with anything else. So don't go off any rabbit trails.
No, I'm going to stick to... thank you for keeping me focused, Margie, because I want to stick to another issue, which is several hundred articles are now out about anonymous... Excuse me, Margie, let me see if we can get a question in here, if I may.
Start talking about anonymous, the irrelevant criminal cowards whose names God knows and who will let the criminal authorities deal with, then that's when I use my Skype hang-up telephone. So stick to the issue of today. The issue of today is Connecticut, dead children for same-sex marriage, and we'll continue to chat.
But have you been attacked by Anonymous?
And they're lurking in the background all the time. Anonymous is irrelevant. They're so yesterday.
Okay.
Now, meanwhile, the real issue is if you could shut us up, the Lord God will find someone else to say these words. In fact, Christ said he'll find some stones.
I know.
So look for the stones to start talking.
Margie, I want to... Okay.
Because God sent the sheep and he's not done.
Give me an opportunity, Margie, to talk to you one-on-one here. Against my better judgment, maybe. I want to maybe try to work out some...
David, you need us way worse than we need you, so stop all that nonsense. Anonymous is irrelevant and off the table.
Let's forget about Anonymous for a second, Margie. I'm sorry.
Shirley's her sister. I call her Shirley.
Let me just... Can I make a proposal to you? Will you listen?
She does look like James Spader in the Blacklist. That's hilarious. That's maybe the best Twitch message I've ever seen. She looks like James Spader in the Blacklist. That's insane. Oh man. All right, let's keep going.
Listen to a proposal from me. Is that, and then you can reject it or accept it. It's your choice.
Depends on what it is.
Okay. My goal is to keep you and your signs away from the funerals of these kids in Connecticut. And as you said, your goal is for as many people as possible to hear your message, which you have made a number of times on this show. So, and I may regret this, and I think my audience may not like this, but what I want to propose to you is, would you be willing to say you will stay away from the funerals of the children, and in exchange, I would provide you a 30-minute uninterrupted, it won't be me interrupting you and saying, oh, but what about this and that? We will give you 30 minutes, really, to put together. It can be a video that you put together or whatever you want.
It's an idea.
We'll put it on our YouTube channel, which has 25 million views. We're on 160 TV and radio stations across
25. We're almost at 1 billion views now. Wow. That was a while ago.
The country.
We get 50 million views a month now.
We're on DirecTV and Dish Network in 32 million homes. I know that my audience will not like this, but I feel like I may be doing something good. I would be willing to compromise and offer you that opportunity if you agree simply stay away from the funerals of these few kids, and you'll reach way more people this way, which I don't like, I really don't, but I just want to see if we can maybe broker some kind of agreement.
I'll float the proposal.
Okay, so we were hoping to hear back about whether or not our proposal was accepted. There were a number of phone calls and trying to...
Yeah, needless to say, it wasn't. That's interesting. This is pretty compelling stuff. It's all brand new to me. Let's check out one other one. Pacman Peter LaBarbera. This is another guy. Let me see here. Hold on. Which one was this? Oh, no, not Pete. No, it's David Pacman, Michael Brown. Yeah, this is it. Check this out. Check out this guy. Yeah, this guy's nuts. This is a messianic...
Middle East to America.
Oh, wait, no. This isn't it. There's one where we actually see him. I guess it's this one. This guy is what they call a messianic Jew. He's a Jew for Jesus. It's crazy. And let's listen to a little bit of this one.
He is now in support of gay marriage.
Well, it's no surprise, actually, for two reasons. First, in 1996, he came out clearly and unequivocally in writing when he was running for office saying that he supported legalizing same-sex marriage and he would oppose any efforts against that. So the statements he made in 2004, 2008, when he said as a Christian, he opposed same-sex marriage and marriage was a sacred thing and gay marriage was not a civil right. I took all those statements with a grain of salt, especially because in 2008, the same year he made his very Christian positive statement and the debate with Rick Warren, he wrote a letter to the Democratic Club in San Francisco, a gay and lesbian Democratic group in San Francisco, and explained to them that he opposed Proposition 8, the marriage amendment there.
I'm going to skip ahead. This guy eventually cuts me off because he doesn't like my questions. It's from what I recall, it's pretty funny.
It would be as foreign to talk about two men or two women wedding in the Bible as it would be to talk about marrying an alien or marrying a goat. It's completely foreign. As for John Boswell's work, John Boswell, the gay activist scholar, tragically died of AIDS. And Boswell's stuff has been completely refuted by church scholars. Just study it out. The reason that he discovered this stuff is because he completely misread the text.
So let's focus on today for a second. Let's focus on today. Where is marriage defined as a man and a woman?
It has always been throughout American history from the foundation of our nation. It was always understood. The only reason
it was understood or it was defined somewhere? You understood. So tell me, where is it defined?
It has been defined in every legal document having to do with marriage. David, I actually thought, I guess I didn't know what show I was getting on. No insult, but I thought this was a serious issue. A serious discussion about this issue, not where someone's going to deny you research every single marriage document in American history that has been recognized by the government until the last few years, where some states changed things. There was one definition and one definition only. It was the union of a man and a woman. It's the only definition you'll find in every single dictionary that's ever been written and every single legal document recognized by the government.
So tell me, where can one look up that definition? Just tell me where to look it up. That's all I need. Legally.
Oh, okay, tell you what. Start with every dictionary that has been written in American history.
That's not a legal document. The dictionary. Do you know what? If you looked up the N-word, hold on a second. If you looked up the N-word for a black person 100 years ago in a dictionary, what does a dictionary tell us?
David, okay, tell you what. I am going to have to get going soon because I actually thought this was a serious interview. Not a joke thing, not something that's just trying to set people up for quotes. So here's the deal. You go to any court house in America and just ask them for any marriage document they have from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, okay? Very, very simple. I don't have to tell you where to find marriage documents. You perfectly know how to do that. And if you were interested...
Why is the frame rate 2 frames per second, by the way?
...interested in actual information, I'd be sharing it with you.
I really am interested in information. I'm bothered that you don't think I am.
And you genuinely don't know that the only legal definition of marriage that we have ever had since the founding of America has been the union of a man and a woman?
The thing is, it's not whether I know or don't know. I just ask questions, and I'm asking you, so tell me, what is the document that defines that? Because you're saying, well, go to a court and ask them for documents that refer to marriage, but long enough ago where it wasn't already legal, like it is, for example, in Massachusetts. What use is that, Dr. Brown?
Let's do this. I'll send you a copy of my book, A Queer Thing Happened to America.
A Queer Thing Happened to America.
You can get the larger overview of gay activism and its effects on history and its agenda and its goals. After you've gone through that with 1,500 plus endnotes and massive research in there,
there's a typical thing that these guys or gals do, which is they tell you about a book that they want you to read, but they mention the number of endnotes. Like I should, in order to qualify for a conversation, I've got to review the 1,500 endnotes.
And we can follow up with other questions you have. Is that
Dr.
fair?
Brown, you don't set the guidelines for what's required reading to conduct an interview. I didn't send you a list of things you should read before talking to me. What kind of a thing is that to say? Let me review your 1,500 endnotes. This is bizarre, isn't it?
No, it's not. I'm telling you, if you're looking for information, I'm happy to give it to you. But tell you what, I wish you a great day. I hope you do well, and blessings on your work. Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
Well, I have many more questions for you. It just doesn't sound like you're ready or able to answer those. We're focusing on documents.
I'm perfectly able. I do hundreds of interviews, but not mockery interviews. So, David, you have a good day, but I just want to encourage you to be a serious host next time around and not to ask questions that are so readily available to everyone and that no one even argues with. It's one thing to dispute
But
Bosworth's
if it's so readily
work.
available, why couldn't you tell me the document where I can find that definition of marriage if it's so readily available?
I have told you, David, tell you what, I've got better things to do right now. And
If you want to continue to attack and say this is not a serious interview, it's a mockery, feel free to make the ad hominems. Feel free to hang up, sir. You're free to do that.
All right. God bless you, man. I wish you well.
Oh, that was a classic, man. There's some stuff in the archives that really is worthy of review. That is some interesting stuff. I don't know that's the only valid reference material are his 1,500 endnotes. Anything from outside of that would not be considered would not be considered valid. That is something else. All right, let's check back in on the Senate here.
2021, but on or before August 29th, 2021, the recovery benefit payable under this subparagraph shall be in the amount of $800. B, clarification on authority to use funds. Funds appropriated under subparagraph B of Section 2A5 of the Railroad Unemployment Insurance Act.
Right, so now they're going to do that. Let me just look at a couple other super chats. Q Todd says Jesus was a lover of men. It said so in 1 Corinthians 11:3. I couldn't tell you one way or the other. I live just outside Topeka where the Westboro Baptist Church is. Sucks being around these clowns. They have day jobs in the city. I can't believe I share the same town with this woman. Remember when Anonymous live hacked their website? Yeah. I'd rather be back in Iraq than live in her head. What's the deal with the voicemail number? It doesn't work. I type the full 219 to David P and it doesn't work. I don't know. Everybody's leaving voicemails. Even as we were playing them, people were leaving voicemails. Check my previous super chat, says Sam Smith. I would appreciate an updated reading list from you. Whatever you're currently or planning to read, would even consider becoming a member for that knowledge. Okay, yeah, I can look at that. Right now, I'm reading, as I mentioned, Travels with Charlie by John Steinbeck and A Billion Dollar Loser about the fall of WeWork. Fiction, I just finished up one of Blake Crouch's early works, Eerie. And now I started, hold on. It's James Baldwin, something Mountain. What's the name of the book? Go Tell It on the Mountain by the great James Baldwin. And then I also recently picked up Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. 1,000 pages. It's a big boy, but I've never read any David Foster Wallace. Find him to be a fascinating guy. And I plan to read that next. I also grabbed Kim Stanley Robinson's Green Mars. That's the second of 3 books in the Mars trilogy. Oh, okay. And people are saying I missed some Twitch subs. DStorm99, thank you so much for the Twitch sub. I very, very much appreciate that. All right, guys, I have to head out. Shockingly, I actually have something to do today. I've got to go do. So this is going to be the end of the stream. These guys are going to be going late into the night.
Employment benefits provided under Section 2C, 2D.
Yeah, so you guys can pick it up on PBS if it interests you. And then once it's actually time to vote and it looks like something will happen legislatively, I will be right back. All right. Thanks, everybody. Let's raid somebody on Twitch. Let's see who's streaming. Man, nobody's streaming that I think would acknowledge us. This will be fun. Let's raid. This is a chess streamer, but this is what we've got. Let's raid Daniel Naroditsky. All right, guys, come over with me if you're watching on Twitch. We're going to raid a Daniel Naroditsky, and we will monitor for the vote. And then eventually when a vote happens, we will be back. Thanks, everybody.